Mr. Mayor Siegfried Nagl, in your opinion, how has racism evolved up to the current COVID-19 context?
As far as we know from the City Anti-Discrimination Office and the UNESCO Human Rights Center in Graz, hate speech on the internet has increased. Most of the postings shame people from other parts of the world, starting with the hate against Chinese and Asian people, Italians, and finally refugees and migrants are made responsible for the spread of the pandemic. The city government is challenged to clearly stand against such escalations and to inform about the facts.
What is the role of cities in the fight against racism and discriminations?
Racism can be structural on one hand and occurs in institutions, or can be ingrained in the legislature. On the other hand, it happens among individuals in everyday life. Thus, two main strategies for cities need to be: first, to detect and eliminate racist and discriminatory structures in institutions, and second, to create a culture of mutual respect, inclusion, and human rights. Graz is a UNESCO City of Human Rights City, and we try to integrate a human rights-based approach in all our activities. Graz is also a member in the European Coalition of Cities Against Racism, and we set up various policies against discrimination and participate in the 10-point action plan, which we renewed in this year. Graz already set up a wide range of institutions preventing and actively fighting discrimination. We have a Human Rights Council, an interreligious council, a Women's Rights Council, and an advocacy institution for children, an ombud or a public advocate for people with disabilities, as well as an anti-discrimination office, to only mention a few. Furthermore, the recently founded UNESCO Center for Human Rights has a specific task to train human rights professionals, not only from all over the world, especially for Eastern Europe and for North Africa, here in our city, here in Graz, in order to facilitate a culture of human rights.
What is the added value of city networks, such as the International Coalition of Inclusive and Sustainable Cities, which includes the European Coalition of Cities Against Racism?
In my opinion, a network is vital for learning about trends, exchanging of experiences and good practices. It also gives the important topic of human rights more visibility and is a good framework for projects and change process with the administration. The UNESCO Human Rights Center, for example, will hold an international academy in order to exchange knowledge on human rights implementation, research and evaluation next February. We will invite experts from all over the world in order to think together about how we can make our cities into places where people can live in peace and enjoy a high quality of life.
How do you see UNESCO's role as an international organization in the global fight against racism? What are your recommendations on the way forward?
I always say the UNESCO is the soft power of the United Nations. UNESCO convinces cities and their citizens that education, science and culture are the essential tools for development and for our future. I fully agree. These factors also help to oppose racism. My recommendations, therefore, please continue and strengthen the cooperation between cities and networks like ICAR, support data collections and research on the local level to better understand the phenomenon and its causes, identify successful approaches to eliminate discrimination in the different areas of societies, share your experiences and lessons learned in the fight against discrimination, and always remain vigilant and work together with mayors.